You can always change. You can always grow. You can always learn. And I also believe in each one, teach one. Hola, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Ashanti, and thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to be discussing chapter 5 of my book titled, Who Am I? Now, guys, after all of the shadow work that I completed in therapy and on my own, I was left with the question of who am I? I really didn't have a good idea of who I was at that point, because everything I thought I knew about myself turned out to be not really who I thought I was. So there was who I thought I was and who I actually was. Two completely different people. But anyway, when I got to this question, it kind of scared me a little bit because, I was almost 40 years old. I thought I had, a good idea of who I was and what I wanted in life. And I had worked, 15 to 20 years to build that life. So when I got to this point, at 40, and I'm asking myself, who am I? It was a little bit alarming to me, but at the end of the day, I wanted to find out. I knew it wasn't who I was in the past, or as a matter of fact, I was who I was then. But at this point, I no longer felt like I was that person. So now I had a clean slate. I was able to figure out who I am and, the things that I like, that I no longer was scared to pursue or even entertain in my life. So now, that I had this clean slate, I'm asking myself, okay, well, who are you now? Now that, you don't have a lot of the burdens that you had in the past, your insecurities, all of these things that kept you, hidden and, had tunnel vision just to keep, going on that path. I had no idea that it would be such a complicated question to answer, because, when you're younger, you feel like you have all the time in the world, and you do kind of know the things that you like and the things that you're interested in, because you haven't been exposed to the world and all of its no's, and you're supposed to do this like that, and all that kind of stuff. So when you're younger, you just kind of know, like I knew at 5, that I wanted to be in the legal field. And even if I got sidetracked, from the time that I knew that until the time that I actually went for it, I always knew it was always there. And it was always that silent whisper that kept reminding me, that that's what I really wanted. So I eventually did go down that path, and it was very fulfilling for me. I loved it. But then I got to a point where I didn't. So just, doing it for the sake of a paycheck, or, doing it just for the sake of, I've invested all of this time and money and energy into it, just wasn't going to fly. I had to figure out, if it wasn't that, then what? Um, you know, when we're growing up, of course, if you're a part of a large family, everyone, helps out, chips in, to make the unit run as it should. So a lot of my dreams got lost in the shuffle of just trying to survive, and, make sure that I was contributing, my part to my family. So a lot of, my dreams got buried within me. And it took this question to actually um, start exploring them again. So, my point is, it's never too late to, you know, change your focus, change, what you like, what you don't like, especially after doing, a bunch of shadow work. You might just wake up one day and say, I'm done with that, and do something together, do something altogether different. So it's not one of those things where, I have to hold on to this because I've invested so much in it. It's, okay, that served its purpose. Now it's time to move on. And when I was trying to process all of this, it was still, very scary. In the back of my mind, I just kept saying, no, I have to go back. I have to go back, because I didn't know what else I would do if I didn't. And I didn't know, how I would make money, that kind of stuff. So, it's hard to, just switch and take a leap of faith in a totally different direction. But sometimes, that's what it takes. And until you start asking yourself, that question, who am I? It's just going to be open for interpretation. I mean, anything can blow into your life and you'll grab a hold to it, and it may not be for you. So, the purpose of asking yourself, who am I, is to find out what it is that you, are supposed to be doing, creating actually, because I no longer believe in, work. I believe in creation. So if you are creating from a pure space, it doesn't feel like work. And once you get to the place on your journey where you know who you are and what your purpose is in life, then you get busy with the creating. But until what it is, who you are, and what it is, that you came here to do. What are your strengths? What are the things that, light you up inside? Um, that's a clue. So, don't disregard those feelings of, when you get that spark, because that's the same spark I used to have, when I was younger. I loved writing, and I loved the legal, anything legal. I loved it. Because I thought it was a place, that was there to help people. I thought it was a system that was there to help people. Um, and I just felt like if I can get, in a courtroom, I can help, so many people, especially the people that were around me at the time, that I felt like were being mistreated, that are still being mistreated actually. So I wanted it, and I wanted it bad, and I went for it. And in one of my last videos, I told you, as soon as I was getting ready to go to law school, everything changed. So there you go. And that was tough for me. That was really tough. But at the end of the day, it was like, do I do this just to save face, or do I honor, my authentic self? And I chose the latter. So, and now at this point, I've been so immersed in what I got going on, I really don't even miss it. I think about it sometimes, but I don't miss it the way I thought. I would when I decided to leave it in the past. But it's going to be different for everyone. I know a lot of people probably haven't asked themselves this question, or probably haven't even thought about, their childhood dreams in years, because we're so busy, just trying to make things work in our lives, with our jobs and with our children, our spouses, animals, whoever. We're just busy on the daily grind, and those things just get pushed, into the back of our minds as if, it's just a hope or a wish. But what you need to know is that you are a creator, and whatever you see, you could create. Everything that exists in this world was a thought in somebody else's mind that they created. And the same is true for you. Same was true for me. I created this little book. I also created, a couple other things. So it's limitless. Once you tap into, your creative spirit, things will open up for you, and the world will make space for whatever you create. So just keep that in mind. If you're contemplating, taking a leap and, leaving your past behind and pursuing something, that fills your heart, that doesn't feel like work. Because when I'm creating, it doesn't feel like work. 24 hours can go by, and I'll look up and say, wow, I haven't even eaten. So it's definitely totally different experience from me going to work at 9 a.m., coming home at 6, being so tired, I could barely even think about what I'm going to eat for dinner, let alone try to create something from my heart. So it's doable, but it's difficult. So I hope that this helps you in any way, and I hope that you are ready to ask yourself that important question: who am I? Get your journal out and just write, who you are and who you want to be. If that person is the same person, then kudos to you. That means you've been doing your shadow work, you've been paying attention and doing your homework, and all that is great. I love you for it. But if it's not, then you start making the changes slowly but surely. Tackle one thing at a time. If it's your environment you don't like, work on changing that. If it's your job you don't like, work on changing that. But the main important thing is to find out who you are. And I am still developing who I am. And that's my journey, and that's your journey, is to figure out who you are. And when you do, if you're not happy with that person, you can always change. You can always grow. You can always learn. And I also believe in each one, teach one. So whatever you learn, you should teach whoever is closest to you. If it's if it's positive, if it's negative, keep it to yourself. But anyway, I thank you guys for joining me. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments section. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, please. And I will see you next week when we will be moving on, unless you guys need me to stay here on chapter 5. We will be moving on to chapter 6, which is titled Sex. It's not what you think, but we will be moving on to chapter 6. And I hope you guys will join me. See you next time. Bye.